I never believed betrayal could sound so quiet, no shouting, no tears, just one sentence that shattered everything I thought I knew. And that day was different in a way I never saw coming. I used to believe my life was ordinary in the safest way possible, stable, predictable, comfortable, married for 11 years. I had learned the rhythm of our days: the morning coffee, the polite kisses goodbye, the shared dinners where silence felt normal instead of awkward. Love had become routine, and I told myself that was what maturity looked like. People often confuse peace with happiness. I did too. My husband, Daniel, was dependable, the kind of man others admired, successful, respected, and I was proud to be the wife who had it all. At least, that's what it looked like from the outside. But inside, something had been quietly fading. I didn't know it yet, but that quiet was the beginning of everything falling apart. It started on a random Tuesday, nothing special about the date, the weather, or even my mood. I came home early from work, hoping to surprise Daniel with dinner. The house was unusually silent, but that wasn't strange. He often worked late. As I passed the living room, his phone left carelessly on the kitchen counter buzzed. I wasn't snooping. I wasn't suspicious. I wasn't that wife, but the screen lit up. I can't stop thinking about last night. My stomach tightened at that moment. I didn't panic. I didn't cry. I didn't jump to conclusions. I laughed nervously and whispered, probably work. But deep down, something didn't feel right, and what I discovered next would change everything. I should have walked away. I should have respected privacy. But curiosity has a cruel way of demanding answers, so I picked up the phone. Rising tension. There were no explicit photos, no dramatic love declarations, just conversations, daily, intimate, familiar messages, filled with emotional closeness, eyed jokes, late-night confessions, shared frustrations about life, and about me. She understands me in a way you never did. One message read. That line burned more than any physical betrayal could have. Because suddenly, it wasn't just about cheating, it was about replacement. My hands shook as I scrolled further, my heart racing, my ears ringing as if the room itself had gone quiet. I didn't recognize my own breathing. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a moment of weakness. This was a connection. And I was no longer part of it. If you think betrayal always announces itself loudly or wrong, sometimes it arrives softly and destroys you from the inside. When Daniel came home that night, I didn't confront him. I served dinner. I smiled. I asked about his day, and he answered comfortably, too comfortably. That was when I realized something terrifying. He didn't look guilty. He looked relieved, as if he had already emotionally checked out and I was the only one still pretending. I wanted answers, but I wasn't ready for the truth. Still, the truth had other plans. Emotional build-up over the next few days. I observed him like a stranger. The way he smiled at his phone. The way he showered longer. The way he stopped touching me casually. It wasn't hatred, it was indifference, and indifference hurts more than anger ever. Cold. I replayed every moment of our marriage in my mind, wondering where I failed, where I changed, where I stopped being enough. Was I too boring, too quiet, too predictable, or had he simply stopped choosing me? 3 nights later, Daniel sat across from me at the kitchen table. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't deny anything. He just said, I didn't plan this. That sentence broke something inside me, because it meant he felt justified. He told me it wasn't physical yet. That word yet felt like a countdown. She makes me feel alive again, he said softly, alive, as if I had been the thing suffocating him all these years. And in that moment, I realized something devastating. He wasn't sorry. I thought I would beg. I thought I would fight. But instead, something unexpected happened. For the first time in my life, I didn't recognize myself. I wasn't crying. I wasn't angry. I was calm. A dangerous kind of calm. I told him, then go. The words surprised us both. Daniel froze, as if he expected resistance, desperation, or fear. But I felt none of that. What I felt was clarity. I finally understood that love without effort isn't love. It's convenience. And loyalty without respect is just obligation. If he needed another woman to feel alive, then he had already buried our marriage long before she arrived, and I refused to grieve something that was already dead. That night, I slept alone for the first time in over a decade. The silence felt heavy but honest. For years, I had ignored my own emptiness to protect his comfort. I had settled for familiarity instead of connection, and now, standing in the quiet, I realized something powerful. I didn't lose him. I found myself, Daniel, left 2 weeks later. Not dramatically, not angrily, just quietly like everything else. Friends asked me how I was holding up. They expected sadness. But what I felt was freedom. Pain. Yes. Grief, absolutely. But also relief. Because the worst part of betrayal isn't losing someone, it's losing yourself while trying to keep them. And that day, the day I never experienced before, me that staying silent can sometimes be the bravest decision of all. Infidelity doesn't begin in beds, it begins in hearts that stop choosing each other. And sometimes, losing someone is the first step toward finding your worth. If this story moved you, touched something deep inside, or felt familiar, like, share, and follow for more powerful real-life stories that remind us we're not alone.